night where you have to pay a poll tax just to get in. It's a brilliant idea.
I'm all for it.
All right, Jonathan, time for my hypothetical. The Elite League, the UK hockey has had quite a lot of turnover when it comes to like the clubs that we've had. So I'm giving you the magic ability to bring back any team that was formerly an Elite League team or formerly a top flight team, and you can magic them back into health. Which team would you bring back and why?
Oh, I just want to say the Stingrays.
Just
because that's just, because I live in Hull. I used to work for the Stingrays. It would be great to have them back. I'm not sure whether it's the Stingrays that I want back or whether it's just Doucette, Lauzon, Cloutier and Pasha and Davis. And I just want to get the band back together. But yeah, I think a lot of people miss their Elite League chip spice.
I do. Massively. Yeah. It was one of the nicest things about going to Hull, other than the guarantee of 2 points. One of the nicest things about going to Hull was the chip spice.
Yeah. But if you're thinking chip spice, you also need to put the Vipers back in the Metro Radio Arena so you can have the roast pork sandwiches.
Oh.
If we're talking about Elite League concessions, that's the best.
It was the best, wasn't it?
It was.
I mean, obviously, I'm a child of the North East, and my first experience of ice hockey was at the Metro Arena. I mean, even though I was born and raised in Durham, I was old enough by the time they'd already folded. So yeah, I have fond memories of going to the Metro Arena.
So would you prefer the Vipers back then or the Wasps?
I'd want the Wasps back.
Why?
I'm from Durham, and how many people know where Durham is? No one. No one knows what a Durham is. The best sporting team in Durham, and this is by no means criticism, is the women's football team, who are currently in the second tier of the Women's Super League. And they're doing very well, thank you very much. But other than that, bit of cricket. What else? You know what I mean? And I like cricket, but you can't really doss around wearing a cricket jersey. I'd love to have Durham back, and I think I'd have them back just because we also need a bit of North East hockey again.
But when the league talks about expansion, you ask the fans what they want. They're always saying, "Oh, get a team in London." That means the London Knights, doesn't it? Because that's what the Elite League wants. It wants to be in the capital. We used to have a team in the capital. The best thing for the Elite League would be bringing back the London Knights, wouldn't it?
My problem with the idea of a team in the capital is I can't think of any other scenario where there is a singular team for the capital. Does that make sense? Because Londoners see themselves as Londoners kind of secondary to where they're from. You know what I mean? That's why London has how many football clubs, and dozens and dozens and dozens. And I think that would always be the struggle of the London Knights, because they'd probably be the North London Knights or the South London Knights or the Tottenham Knights. Do you see what I mean? I think that would probably be a lot better. There's a reason why the franchise has never worked in London.
Should we just invite Streatham back up then?
Maybe. But again, it didn't work, did it? But maybe times have changed. Maybe you could be able to push it out a bit more.
Other teams that have come and gone then, the most recent to disappear was Edinburgh.
Yeah.
But if you're bringing back the Capitals, wouldn't it be better to bring back the proper Murrayfield Racers, given all that they won during their existence?
The Edinburgh Capitals, for me, Edinburgh as a hockey city has always confused me. Because if you look at it from a pure recruitment, fan base point of view, it's where you'd put the next team. You know what I mean? Because there's a history of hockey, there is a fan base, there's a national history of hockey. It's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. In terms of recruitment, it would be so much easier than, with the greatest respect, Hull. And yet that doesn't seem to fly down there, up there.
Where do you stand on this controversial one? Let's bring back the Manchester Storm.
In actual Manchester, rather than Altrincham.
Because at the moment, hockey's back in Manchester. Yeah, but it's in Altrincham, and that's a little bit Phoenix.
Yes, it is a little bit Phoenix, isn't it?
If we're bringing back the Vipers, we're not putting them in Whitley Bay.
No,
we're putting them
true.
in the Metro Radio.
Yeah.
We're putting the Durham Wasps back in their old rink. If we're doing this, then surely we need to put Manchester back in Manchester as the Storm.
I wonder what their fans would say about that, actually, because
I would hate that suggestion.
Yeah, because I think they're having fun in Altrincham, aren't they?
Well, they are, and the new badge that they've rebranded for this year says 1995 on it. They are Storm.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're official. I don't think they have the old club records. I think they've retired a couple of the shirts, but
yes.
I'm not sure legally where they've got the ownership of the name. I don't think if they have the ownership of the history or not. But it's because they're still a relatively new team. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have the same connection to the old team yet. I think in time that will grow. But I don't think anyone's going to want to bring the Manchester Phoenix back.
No.
I don't think many people miss them.
No. Which is in itself a shame.
It is a shame. It's a massive shame. Other teams that you might want to get back, do you want to go way, way back? And do you want to just bring back Wembley?
Yeah.
Do you want to bring back Southampton?
Oh, goodness. Now there's an away trip for you. You know, you talk about that Dundee to Southampton away trip.
Or do we just want to bring back a couple of ISL teams? Just want Basingstoke and Bracknell back?
Basingstoke, again, is one of those enigmas, isn't it? It was always there and thereabouts, but never really took off, which is interesting because there's very little else to do in Basingstoke, as somebody who used to visit far more frequently than he should have. There's nothing else to do in Basingstoke, you know. Why wouldn't you go see the hockey?
But Southampton, again, is a sport that is a city that's struggling for sport. You've got the Premier League football team, and you're scratching around because you don't have any speedway, you don't have any basketball, you don't have any rugby to note.
Is there something to be said that actually then...
So can we not get the Solent Vikings back?
Maybe, but is there something to be said then actually for a hockey franchise to really work, it needs to come from a sporting town anyway? Not a one where there's not much option, because then it's not part of the culture. Because if you look at the top teams in the UK, you've got Nottingham have 2 football clubs competing rather well against it. Glasgow have had 2 football clubs you may have heard of. 3 football clubs, actually, you may have heard of near Glasgow. Sheffield has 2, you know.
Plus all the other South Yorkshire ones.
Plus all the other South Yorkshire ones that are in competition. Hull obviously had the Hull, but also they had the Kingston Rovers and
FC,
and
the 2 rugby league teams. Yeah.
The 2 rugby league teams. So actually, are you more likely to make a franchise work if you have a lot of sporting competition because you have a sporting culture within the city?
In that case, can we not make some more sporting competition in Scotland and bring back the Scottish Eagles? Oh,
wow, yeah. They've also got a great name.
Yeah, and obviously everyone else can then be the Sheffield English Steelers and the Cardiff Welsh Devils.
It's your affinity to put the nation or like, because you don't think we should have anything called the Ice Tigers. You need to be a tiger, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So okay, the Air Eagles then.
Yeah, if you show someone a picture of an eagle, no one's going to say, "Oh no, that's a Scottish eagle." That's just an eagle.
You can tell by the way its kilt is flapping in the breeze. Definitely a Scottish eagle.
But I think if you're going to bring a team back, you're going to want to bring a team back that's successful. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we want to bring back a doormat. Because it's difficult to think of, having really good memories against the recent Capitals. But fans who have been following their team since the 80s will remember games against Murrayfield. They will remember title deciders against the Wasps. They are less likely to remember the Vipers, although the Vipers did win a playoffs.
And I think the Vipers are one of those rare clubs in which the club died not because of lack of fan engagement.
Mamma Mia.
It died because of Disney on Ice and Mamma Mia. I think it's probably the only example I can think of where fans were turning up at the door still to be turned away and told, "Oh, there's no more hockey for you." See what I mean? All the others have died a slow death. Even in Hull's case with the Stingrays, there wasn't too many people who were turning up disappointed that there wouldn't be a Stingrays franchise anymore. But there was a lot of people who invested time and energy into the Newcastle franchise. And it closed down not for lack of fan support, but for lack of ice. And it's probably why I'd probably put that on the top of my list, because at least I know it's going to survive a couple of years.
The season that the Vipers ultimately had to move to Whitley Bay, they were top of the league in October.
Yes, they were.
They got off to a terrific start. But then by November, they knew they were getting kicked out of their home, and the season just collapsed.
Yeah.
And the following year, they were losing every game by 10.
Yeah.
I remember them more than I would remember. Well, I don't have the hockey knowledge from the 80s, so teams like Wembley and Southampton and even Durham are beyond me.
Yeah.
So I probably miss Hull the most, but there is still the Pirates, who may well be an elite league team very soon. Fingers crossed that they are. I would like the Stingrays back. I've no real memory of the Humberside Seahawks or the Kingston Hawks or the Hull Thunder, as they were. But I think for history, Sheffield have tied Murrayfield Racers for 10 playoff championships. We're just beating a dead man if we get an 11th.
That's right.
I think we need the Murrayfield Racers back. The proper Murrayfield Racers. Not the current lot.
No.
The proper Murrayfield Racers back. So that's it for another episode. If you have any comments about the issues we've discussed or suggestions for future hypotheticals, then tweet us at HockeyHypo and make sure you leave us a comment and a rating wherever you're listening from. On behalf of Stephen Dowson, this is Jonathan Fernley saying goodbye.